Welcome back to 23 ABC News at 6. We're more than 7 months away from the high school football season, but as 23 ABC's sports director Stephen Hicks took an in-depth look at all the work right now going on behind the scenes. Stephen?
Yeah, Tim, Sunday, the Super Bowl officially brought an end to the football season, but already talk is swirling about what teams will make it next year. And while the high school game is much lower on that football totem, here in Kern County, the passion can be just as intense.
The field may be all set for soccer, the trees without their leaves. But in the town of Shafter, it's football on everyone's mind.
When you talk about Friday night under the lights, that is Shafter football.
A program steeped in history, but is perhaps best known for its rivalry with Wasco, a series the Generals have lost each year for the last decade. This December, head coach Ricky Ishida left the school after 5 seasons at the helm.
We flew the position and got it out there on the street and entertained quite a few applicants and a lot of interest.
Shafter settled on Jerald Pierucci, a familiar face to high school football who was last seen at Bakersfield Christian, where he won a Valley title and led the Eagles to a state championship game. He and the school parted ways in 2015, but his record made it an easy football decision for Shafter. And one look through the halls of the school, where pictures of each graduating class hang, you see it was also a simple decision for the coach.
To have that opportunity to come back here, it's a big deal.
While the season is still months away, preparation has already started. His off-season program,
There you go.
of course, making players stronger, but also holding them accountable.
Trying to find. I'm going to call him in individually.
From time to time, he drops in on the school's strong body class, a class that starts before 7 a.m.
One more.
And while it's mostly just to check in, he also offers tips.
My hips and hands come at the same time, so I'm here and it's hips.
And that extends to his coaches.
No, that's 20 personnel gray.
Inside the garage of his Southwest Bakersfield home, he holds his first coaches meeting. It's the first time his staff breaks down plays and watches film.
There's 3 guys defending 2 guys, and one of them's not even capable of catching a pass.
A time to coach his coaches on his system. It's also the first time he meets with his Shafter coaches.
I know your family.
But the study of film continues. Inside his classroom at Shafter, while he waits for his business class to come in, he spends his time writing notes that his players can study on huddle.
It really is the way the coaches have to do it now.
The app gives players the ability to study on their own time, and it gives Coach more time to spend with his family.
My youngest gives them away. My daughter puts them up for sale.
And you may have noticed his Star Wars obsession. That lightsaber on his desk?
This right here, this is Luke's.
While he has plenty of gear from a galaxy far, far away, what he's lacking might surprise you.
This is the last one we have in the program right now.
From footballs to stand-up dummies,
That's $2,600.
sideline iPads to coaching headsets, he's made a complete list of program needs.
Just that stuff to facilitate what I consider to win games, it's almost $40,000.
While the bottom line is huge, a lot of those costs can be found at any first-year program. And while on the short term, it will show kids that he's running a first-class team, he thinks it will have long-term impacts on the community.
Now you start maybe getting some of those kids that have traditionally gone to Wasco. I want them to come to us.
He thinks he can get it all before the season starts, but to get it,
Hey, this is Jerald Pierucci. I'm the new head football coach over at Shafter High School. How you doing?
he has to cold call possible donors.
Very large call volume right now for football equipment. I'm guessing they just don't take calls like that.
So while we're still weeks away from the pageantry of high school football, don't tell that to Coach Pierucci, who's still hard at work on the new season.
3-step slant.
And stick with 23 ABC. We'll continue to follow Coach Pierucci's progress and how he's developing Shafter. But the interesting note there is that you hear about coaches' hours during the season. They spend their entire time there. As the photographer for that, I can attest those hours are real, even in the off season.
I love that they're in the garage looking over film. That's almost one of those stories you tell when you win the championship. Hey, remember when we were in the garage
in February
studying in February?
Right. It'll pay off someday.
Yep.